Welcome back, everybody.
What is going on, everyone?
It sounds so weird that I can hear myself and not use it. But anyway, yeah, this is our second guest is going to be on here in just a few minutes. We're going to do our normal shit, get that shit out of the way, and then we'll do it to it, you know what I mean? But like, comment, subscribe, you know all that stuff if you're watching on YouTube. And if you're listening, thank you. There, I did it.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, finally. God, took you 100
I
episodes.
looked at the camera. I said thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
We got merch. I'm wearing it. He's wearing it. We're all wearing it. He's not going to be wearing it, but our guest isn't going to be wearing it because we're not prepared. You know. Anyway.
Chair.
Follow us on social media. We've got a link tree in the description. So do all that shit. Spotify and iTunes is mostly where you can listen, but there's all kinds of other ones. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to our guest now that we got that stupid shit out of the way. Actually, real quick, thinking about doing live streams instead of pre-recorded. So with that being said, if we do that, it will be at a different time, but maybe on the same day. We will figure that out and let you guys know when that day arrives, or way before that, but obviously. But that also means the Patreon won't be there. So speaking of that, Patreon.
What about it?
Do it. Get on it, everybody. But no, if we go live, we'll figure something out when it comes to Patreon. But
yes, sir.
But for right now, it's business as usual. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, our guest today, he's a musician, composer, actor, British military enthusiast. He has a YouTube channel called Eerie Hour with Erich. Ladies and gentlemen, Erich Davies.
Welcome, bub.
Dude?
Hello, how's it going?
Got a pretty easy trip here?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Not a lot of traffic. So
Didn't
How
get
far
lost.
are you from here? I don't want to say
I live about 30 minutes from here
that's not
in
too
Shelbyville.
bad.
Me.
So.
That's not too bad.
Like
yeah.
me. About half hour away. But
Right on.
That ain't bad.
So when he's an actor, like I said on the intro.
right.
So what? Yeah, I thought you said so.
No, go ahead. You're good,
I didn't
bro.
hear you. I heard him, and I thought I heard it next to me. So I'm gonna probably be confused the whole time, but that's my life. Anyway, so when did you get into acting?
I got into acting when I was very young. My mom, God rest her soul, she's no longer with us.
Oh, sorry about that.
But thank
My
you.
condolences.
Thank you. But she was in community theater, and she one day brought me into the theater and said, you know, this is the world of acting. This is the world of the theater, and it really intrigued me. So
Oh, yeah.
it stuck with me. So I credit my dear mother for
Awesome.
getting me into
Oh, yeah,
acting.
man.
Good for you
For real.
for living vicariously through her. Then
Mm-hmm.
I almost asked you the same question twice. I do like.
I mean, you could, but
I got like a small case of dyslexia, so if I don't like narrow shit down,
it's all right.
I'm fucked. But anyway, first F word.
Get your shit together, man.
Who's keeping score?
All right. For real.
Nobody, because they can't keep track of all the F words we do. So I think your last, unless you've done one since we were there, was Rumors, your last play that you guys did.
That's right.
So just
Awesome play, by the way.
Allie kind of gave an idea from her perspective what was going on with that. Give an idea on your perspective as far as what that was about and who you were and all that stuff.
Okay. Well, my perspective is kind of similar to hers. It's about a couple, Charlie and Myra, and they unfortunately on the night of their 10th wedding anniversary, Myra is nowhere to be found, and Charlie has shot himself. It was attempted suicide, and there's our couples, they're friends of theirs that are coming over for to celebrate their 10th wedding anniversary, and the whole thing erupts into chaos. At that point, I mean, that's the thing with the Neil Simon comedies. You know, it's really it's a farce. So it's a lot of comedic action in there, a lot of one-liners, and I must mention, since Allie and I are besties in real life, it was kind of funny that she was, and also I know she's married in real life, but it was kind of funny playing her husband on stage with her.
Yeah, if you guys would have been there, I don't know, is that like a widely known play, or is that in a movie or anything like that?
It's not a movie, at least that I know of. But
I didn't think so.
It's a very well-known play. It's been performed pretty much all over the world. You know, it's been translated into a lot of languages and whatnot. And
Wow.
It's a classic Neil Simon comedy at its best, in my opinion. That's pretty cool. The very first Neil Simon comedy I've ever performed as an actor.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So there was a scene, the reason why I was kind of going to get that background was because there was a scene where you, as her husband, were kind of kissing up on her.
Oh.
How did that go?
Well, it was kind of weird at first. Let me explain the context behind that scene first, because I understand some of the listeners out there, or viewers, I might say, have probably never seen the play. Well, I am going to reveal spoilers, so if you don't like spoilers, then turn away now.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll give you a minute.
Warning.
Yep, warning, spoilers. Anyway, my character's name is Lenny, and I apparently have been voted to disguise myself as Charlie because a couple of police officers are outside wanting to know, what the commotion was, because they heard gunshots and whatnot. And so I come out and I have to pretend to be Charlie. In order to, and my motivation behind that was I want to make the cops uncomfortable so that they'll leave the house.
Right.
And so I got the idea, well, maybe if I kind of ham it up a little bit, just be kind of like Gomez Adams, if you know what I mean, on Allie. And I asked her about that beforehand, as any good actor should. And she went along. She was like, "Yeah, I'd like to do that." And so I began like kissing on her arm, like, "Oh, my darling." And at one point,
about as awkward as you could possibly make it.
Basically,
for that cop. Yeah.
make the situation as awkward as possible.
I think everybody in the room, as far as the acting goes, was uncomfortable in their character too. So went above and beyond.
But the audience loved it.
Oh, it was great. It was hilarious.
Thanks. Oops. Oh, the coaster fell.
Yeah, these things stick to the bottom. I need to
sticky coasters.
Yeah, pretty much. I need to figure something else out for that. Something that's like glass or something, where it's like not sticking or whatever. But what are you doing next?
Well, I don't want to reveal too much, but I am directing and producing and acting in a short film that I have made for my Eerie Hour with Erich show.
Awesome.
And
So go over to his YouTube channel and watch that shit when it comes out.
And oddly enough, Allie is part of the cast for that.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Extremely grateful.
That's badass. Well, best of luck for that, honestly.
Thank
And
you.
if we ever do another one, I wouldn't mind being part of it, if that's okay with you. I have to ask permission because you're the head guy, pretty much.
That is totally okay.
Because obviously I like scary crap.
I'm gonna
Uh-oh.
go get the door. Alice here.
Somebody come in. Yeah. Okay.
She's here.
Yeah.
It's almost like Poltergeist. They're here. Love that shit. And he's back, ladies and gents.
Wow, that was
She's
fast.
back. I'm a runner.
I'm a slow walker, just like this guy.
So you can come in if you want.
Hello. Good
So you
day.
can share a mic with one of these. I don't know. I'll try to find a.
No, you're good.
No.
You're good.
I don't know. Should I get a chair or something?
That's up to you, homie.
I don't know. Let me figure something out.
How's it going, bestie?
We're still recording though, so this is just gonna be a weird episode.
Coffee.
I was expecting this one to be chaos anyway because of so many people, and I didn't know if she was gonna be here by the time we got this done. Because I was actually gonna have you on if you showed up before we started this.
Right.
We were just talking about rumors and the little thing I had to do with you.
It's my stage hubby.
My stage wife.
Starts talking about his wife, and then she shows up.
That's where he's been held up.
Whoa.
kill
What is that, piano bench?
Hey, we'll call it that for this. We're doing music earlier.
Okay. Oh,
Still on it. There you go.
that's. I don't know if that mic's on, but.
Yeah, we're gonna turn it
Nah,
on.
we're good.
Okay. I was gonna say if it was on, that would make pretty good ASMR. Welcome everyone.
Who's your daddy?
Listen as I tap on this mask right here. So relaxing.
would go south. Hey, babe, shake, babe.
I don't know which one this is.
Oh no,
It's
it's not good, boy.
H6.
I was ready for this. I've had a long day. I've been at my grandma's. They're getting ready to sign power of attorney over to my mom, and she's going to take over the house and everything. My grandma's living with her.
Okay.
And we went through a bunch of old pictures, and I found some they've taken of me and my siblings and stuff I did.
Apologize, everybody. We
Oh, wow.
We may cut this part out too. Who knows?
Sorry, I caused a bit of chaos.
It's all right.
Oh, bad show. Is Colonel Crittenden and hey?
They weren't part of rumors of chaos, so of course I would bring the chaos. Not like Rocky and the Ball of Yarn, but
Nope. We're getting there. I think. Probably not. I'm not sure.
We're getting there.
I'm sorry I fudged it up.
It's all good.
Where is a safe? I should probably.
Yeah, go this way.
Okay.
Go.
That way you don't trip.
Hello, lovelies. I'm hyped up on coffee, and
Unless-
I'm not tired, so this should go a lot better.
Unless you want to just like pull the bench right there, and we can just share a mic.
And I still haven't taken my shades off. Sorry, I'm super hyper. I have
Showing up
really
cool
large
as fuck.
coffee, so I'm all like George of the Jungle.
Tookie, tookie.
Like we had a really good night last night at D&D.
Oh, yeah.
So like I'm
That
in
was
a good
fun.
mood. Given the circumstances, I'm in a really good mood.
Good.
That's good. We can get the best material out of you that way then.
Oh, you're
Turn
gonna get
this
a personality out of me
Oh
today.
God.
Coffee's got me like So.
Let me turn you back on then.
That's not
Am I
good.
on?
I will just chill over here.
Hello, Sam. Hello, Governor.
What did I?
And I don't know where the British
we're
accent
getting
came from, by the way.
You dawdle.
Coffee? Maybe.
You dawdle space time and you.
They wouldn't know I could do an accent. There it went. It's gone. Sorry. One-time thing. Hello, lovelies.
Hey, we're actors. It just
Hers is all-
pops in
It's
and
just-
out like that.
I'm hyped up. Sorry. I haven't ate anything, so I drank coffee on an empty stomach. So I'm like a child right now. I'm like,
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Dad, are we there yet?
If you want to pull that over here so you can be on camera, you can. I got mine turned.
That's what I was trying to figure out. I'm like, can I get that to eat?
Yeah, if you're able to pick it, yeah. Muscle that shit.
Oh shit.
You said it's a
There we go.
battering ram.
All right, I'm gonna come over this way.
And I
Scoot my
wore a
cooch.
wrestling shirt today, so support Jess a little bit for the whole NEW.
Hell yeah.
So I'm talking about son. Scoochie,
All
scoochie,
right.
scoochie.
So this is about as on the fly as it gets. We're really living up our
We're
name right
packed full house, son.
Yeah. Everybody in the pool.
Yeah. All right.
There, now you can see me.
I'm gonna move this way.
Which
Maybe
part?
me and
Party,
you
yeah.
can share a mic. There we go. All right.
What is this?
Unless you want
I am so
her
bored.
and you can share a mic, and then this will be all right. This will be easier. All right. Now
Good?
we're
We good?
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Here, I'll turn me way the fuck down.
So, yeah,
Hopefully
I'm
this
starting
turns
to hear
out
an
all
echo.
But yeah, just in case that did get caught up or cut out, welcome back. Where were we anyway? We were talking about rumors.
We were
right?
talking.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Love it.
specific
Yeah.
scene where
Yeah.
husband and wife were doing what husband and wife do.
It's also kind of funny because during the curtain call, the director Amanda Galt asked us to come out of the powder room, and so
I should have came out disheveled. I should have been like,
yeah, we
it's
should
a fucking animal.
That would have been great.
Oh, darling.
Good way way to kick off the show.
Wipe your mouth off. Sorry, I had to go there. You know me.
Oh God, I'm taking my headset off. It's too distracting. I'm like the only. I think that's unplugged too. Let's plug that back in.
Bro, you fucking shut up.
Here, I'll do this. We got echo and shit going on. As you can see, we're not very good at this podcasting thing.
We might be experiencing some technical difficulties at this time.
We actually named the episode that. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, that's
Please
our,
remain seated in your chair or laying on your bed or
That's our
wherever
life
the
for
hell
a
you
podcast.
are, and we'll get moving in a moment. Thank you for your patience.
we'll have him do our.
And we're back.
Yeah.
There we go. He'd be
We'll
here.
have him do our introduction. It's like,
Right?
welcome to On the Fly.
Don't go to sleep.
Don't go to
Doesn't-
sleep.
You never
Do you
sleep.
have any plans to like be on stage again? That was kind of a
I
question. Yeah.
do have plans to be on stage.
Right on.
I just haven't seen any opportunities of
pending
that
then,
so
okay.
far. However, I am going to be in a pit orchestra because I'm also a musician. And
Pit? Is that what you said?
a pit orchestra for
I
Susical
thought you
the
said pit.
musical at Rick
okay.
Stiles Theater in Greenfield.
I love Susical.
hmm And I've already listened to the music. It's got some great horn parts in there,
Awesome.
so I'm really excited to
Hell yeah.
start on that. But as far as the stage go, you know, if an opportunity presents itself, as long as it's within driving distance, I will go to it.
Oh, the things you can think when you think about Sus. I love that play. I love it.
This is probably gonna be our most chaotic episode. I don't know how many times I've said that.
Oh, well.
You're welcome.
Fuck it.
I do this all for you.
All right, you're welcome.
Mwah.
Oh God.
I do this for you.
Sorry, I'm
They're
very,
children,
I'm
Allie.
very,
It's for you guys.
do not.
Not the babies.
I'm not a role model. Don't look up to me. Don't. I can give baby smooches on forehead. You're adorable.
Yeah, see, that's like a double standard. Not that I am jealous of that, but women can do that shit and not be creepy. You know?
I don't know. I came off kind of creepy, and I apologize.
Yeah, but still, like a woman can get away with that more than a man can.
Anyway,
Anyway,
looking like he's about to eat the motherfucker.
Yeah.
Delicious babies.
Fava beans and a nice Chianti.
I don't know what I walked into.
You know that line was never in that movie? Well, hello, Clarice. It was never in that movie.
It never was. Oh, and I've seen that movie at least a couple of times. I didn't
It
notice
was
that.
never in that movie. It's like a Mandela effect. Like we think it was, but it never was. It's weird.
it's just like they like me. They really like me. She never said that.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
She said they like me right now.
Or
I don't understand where people would even get that. But anyway,
yeah, I was gonna say something else, but I think we need to move on.
yeah. What's your favorite part about being on stage?
My favorite part about being on stage is definitely getting to know the cast and bonding with them, and
you gotta
yeah, but especially if they're like your besties or stuff in real life, it makes the whole experience that much better. And I just love getting to know each character, what their quirks are, how their worldview is. To me, if you can connect with not only your own character but also other characters on stage, well, not only within the realm of the play but also outside the play as well.
Right.
That to me makes for a really great production.
I think
in my
so.
opinion.
I can wholeheartedly agree. It makes such a difference.
Do
I swear I can talk. It
That's
makes such a difference when you can actually make a connection with other cast members, because it will show in your
Right.
production that you guys are close knit, that you're comfortable. Because when you're not comfortable, it makes movements on stage very stiff, I've noticed. So with Rumors, we all clicked immediately. We're all really good friends
I
now
agree.
after the production. Whereas I'm in a play currently and I'm having to get reacquainted with people, and it's not as comfortable, and it's just kind of like really stiff, and we're kind of avoiding each other.
Right.
And it may change by show date, but yeah, I've noticed it really makes a difference when you create bonds with fellow cast members.
I agree. Mhm.
Yeah, I think if there's any kind of awkwardness that will show on stage, whether you try to okay, we're good.
See what you did, Allie?
Yeah,
You're welcome.
But
Just having a little fun.
I don't even know what I was saying now. I fucked up.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it's number one. It happens a lot.
But I will say this, though. In my opinion, I've done not a lot of plays, but certainly a good few. And in my opinion, this was probably one of the better productions I have ever been a part of. I mean, there was, like Allie was saying, there was so much energy, so much camaraderie.
We could feel it.
Oh yeah.
Cast
Yeah.
that I didn't feel with any other play I was in.
Yeah, it was probably I don't know, you guys probably maybe just seen better, but that as far as going, I've not been to many plays, but I've been to a few, and one of them was professional, but I was way young, like too young to understand what was going on, but I was bored as fuck because I really just didn't know, you know what I mean? I was too young, but I felt the energy. I think the crowd's reception to that really amped you guys up too, where you guys
Yes.
were really giving it to us.
Feeding off the audience.
Yeah, you guys
as
were,
actors, that's what you live for.
Yeah.
Right. To get the
the chemistry on both sides was a really cool experience to be a part of that.
And every audience we noticed, like every audience is different. So like with Rumors, for example, that play in itself is so funny, but like one audience, like on like a Friday night, could be laughing at this section, this section, but the next night they could be laughing in completely different spots.
Yeah.
But you still feed off of that, and
You don't know where it's going to pop up.
Yeah.
Right. There was a guy that actually I went to use the bathroom at intermission, and one of the guys, I don't know who he was, but he was taller. Anyway, he come in the bathroom, and he I don't normally like it when people come in the bathroom and start talking to you, but I let it slide on him since he was part of the play. I don't know. Anyway, he said that we were the best crowd as far as how we were throwing back the energy at you guys. So
That was
I'm glad that I
sensational.
chose that day to be there because we got a good back and forth chemistry.
Well, we noticed, like, for an example on like audience reaction, and I'm sure Eric might remember, but like there's a scene in Rumors where Cookie does an elephant crawl across the stage, right?
People went nuts.
There
for
was-
that.
She's on all fours.
Oh god! And there's one night where the audience didn't react to that at all, and Kim.
Which, that's kind of awkward.
Yeah,
if you think
and
about
Kim was hamming it up that night too. Like, and I
Yeah.
always struggled to get through that. Audience didn't budge, but the other two nights rolled. Y'all were super receptive to that. Like, you could hear people laughing
Yeah.
until they cried. Like,
it. Yeah.
and it's just, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. I'm like, are we not doing it right? Do you not
Right.
like that? She worked hard on that crawl in a dress.
Yeah.
She
Like,
worked
dude.
hard on that crawl.
Well, she did. She's like, I have to crawl so that my, nothing shows, because she
Right,
really
right,
was in
right.
a dress.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is, I'm kind of I wouldn't say a show off, but I always feel like I need to perform for people, as far as, I guess, showing off. I guess you could call it that. I just like to be. I'm not like fighting for center of attention or anything like that. But if it's given to me, I want to take that shit. And what I relate that to is being on stage, because if you get one person or one group of people to start laughing at something that you added to a play, I would assume that would give you even more confidence to be even goofier, and just it kind of just rolls from there.
It does, and it comes with both experience as well as reading crowds. I don't know if that's the correct term for it, but
Probably.
yeah, you basically, as an actor, you have experience dealing with all different types of crowds. Some are more receptive than others on some nights, as Allie was previously mentioning.
Yeah.
But I totally get it. You feed off of that energy, and that really affects your performance as an actor. So
Well, I've also noticed, even if they don't react, show must go on.
definitely.
And you, even if you're not 100% confident, just I fake it through it, because they're
That's
not going to
hard,
know.
though.
They're not going to know that you've stumbled or that you're lacking your confidence unless you make it well known.
Unless they have a script in front of their faces,
they're not going to know. So yeah, but it does help in the audience.
It
Make
helps.
some sort of reaction, because then you're like,
Right.
ha ha ha, I got you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that, don't you?
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I'll stop.
No, it's great. I love it.
You want me to do it again? I'll do it again.
Yeah, do it.
Want to see me run to the mountain and back? You want to
You wanna
see
see
me
me
do
do
it
it
again?
Golly. Yeah, I just decided on the fly here that we're gonna keep that segment because we are on the fly. So anything that happens during the show should stay on the show, as far as I'm concerned.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why we're called On the Flies.
That's right. So if you don't like it, I guess go fuck yourself. No, I'm
Go
just kidding.
listen to something else.
No, so yeah, when we went out to eat after that, I think you were sitting at our table.
Yes.
He was right across from me.
You
Alex here, you here.
started somehow horror movies and stuff like that came up, and
Probably
that's
thanks
kind
to
of
me because I like talking about
which
that
is
shit.
why this stuff's here. He brought
Yeah.
that to
My
kind
two
of
favorite
really
masks
like
out of
these.
5.
yeah,
That was
so-
like 60 or so, maybe 80. That's about the same. I got them from Lawrenceburg. There's like a horror shop up there.
Ooh.
yeah, those are definitely are they replicas or just
Nah.
no?
I
They're pretty
wish.
authentic.
Shit,
though.
that'd be way more than
Yeah.
$80
Well,
for
yeah.
replicas.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Are they commemorative? What like are they? At least like is that the same exact
no,
design?
no, I could definitely tell on the Jason Voorhees mask, it's not the same. You don't have just a little strap.
Right, right.
Looks like it's from a later film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And like even the dots on him and where the little triangle is, and it actually needs little red lines right here too, but it's missing those. But other than that, yeah, it's just basically
Well, they're both pretty
what they are.
interesting.
Oh yeah, that's from the newest Halloween.
I was gonna say it's got that really worn look to it, and everything else. I love that it has real hair. I do have a Michael Myers mask of my own. However, it does not have real hair because I couldn't find one.
Looks like you got a couple grays in there.
Yeah,
looks
because
like-
he is older in
Yeah,
this
it's true.
one. 40 years later. But I had another Michael Myers mask that was the Rob Zombie version, and it's not even near as good as what this one is. Because this Halloween, he saw of me acting as him, and I can portray him like very well.
Yeah, he's pretty much.
Like I was a.
People are gravitating towards him. Which
Oh
is,
yeah,
Out of all movies I've ever seen, Halloween has got to be one of my favorites.
Yeah,
I really
I
like
think-
it.
I think Halloween's really regardless of whether it was first or not. I think that's really the front runner of where horror is today, if you ask me. Because it's just the mask and everything. Like that was just.
I remember seeing a documentary about why they chose the specific mask because it looks emotionless.
Yeah.
Like, and there was a movie that was released. They said in the documentary it was called Eyes Without a Face, and all you could see was just the person wearing the eyes, and it was like a really white mask, and there was no mouth, no nose, no ears or anything. It just looked emotionless, kind of like this.
It's actually. You go ahead,
I'm
go.
sorry.
No, you're
oh, you're good. You're
No,
good.
I was just thinking. I remember watching something on TV that talked about this particular mask, and they said that they actually, when they were filming the movie, they actually went to a store and bought a William Shatner
Yeah.
mask.
Yep,
It was
that's what it
Captain
And
is.
Kirk
then, like,
mask.
Yep.
yeah, and just painted it and redid the hair on it, and
Made the eyes bigger.
ta-da!
That's
So
literally-
basically, you're running from William Shatner.
Right.
Basically.
Not Michael.
It's a
It's
more
William
fucked up
Shatner.
version.
I'm gonna get those bloody kids somehow.
Something on the wing. Some.
I think Jim
Look at
Carrey
how
did that
sharp
one better.
He
Knife
did,
is.
totally.
It's so good.
Just your Jewish.
It's funny, Jim Carrey, Jerry.
Dumbass.
Mixed both names.
Who's
Jim
Jerry?
Carrey, yeah, Jerry. Jim Carrey's most of his, not if not all, he's got quotes from other movies, which is really cool. He kind of made that stuff his own. Nobody else could do that without some. Oh, it's copyright. You know what I mean? Like anybody can say
Right.
that, but when he does it, it's like a lot of times probably people don't even notice until like they've watched a movie 3 or 4 times. Oh shit, that was from Twilight Zone, where he's on the plane or whatever.
And Jim, oh my God, talking about going deep into your character, like Andy Kaufman as the Man on the Moon, he went deep on that character, like
Yeah, he's
like him.
he's a method
Scary.
actor. So once Jim, what I discovered from watching that documentary over him, so once he has a role, he is that role.
Exactly.
And even when
That's
they're
the best
not
way to be.
rolling cameras, if he's in costume, he's that person. And I thought that was interesting. I don't God, if you can method act, man, like, you've got a talent, because I don't know if I could actually method act.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of energy.
Right.
With especially my last character, I couldn't imagine myself method acting as Lenny.
Yeah, he does it to an extent, but he doesn't go so far to like scare the shit out of everybody. Like if there's little kids around or something like that, like he'll act like him, but you can tell he's a human being. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
But he definitely does a real, like when he really is in character. He looks like you feel the presence of fucking.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I could walk around in any character I've ever been.
I think it's easier.
Maybe at the Playhouse, but like not the
Outside
whole
of that.
entire day. That's a lot of energy.
I think not to downplay your good acting method or anything, but I think it'd be easier when you have a mask on because you really are. I mean, you look the part.
That's what
That's
I
just
think.
all.
And it's just easier. You just feel like you are that
So I
person.
become
You have to
that
rely-
after that.
Well, then at that point,
Right.
it's all showing emotion through your body.
Right.
It's like we have a wrestling show, so I'll bring this up. Wrestlers that wear paint and shit like that, like they really get in tune with their character when they wear stuff or mask, anything like that.
Like the
Like,
Fiend.
you can ask any of them.
Kane.
Kane.
Like they have the highest energy when because they just something in them, like. Finn Balor, for instance, he wears body paint and as the demon every so often. And yeah, it is a fake persona that he's, he says that, kayfabe wise, he says that this demon brings out a new, but it really does, because he becomes, it's not Finn Balor. Like, you can tell it's him underneath the paint, but it's a completely different attitude.
Well, that would be like thinking of paint being out of character. I would think of like the Ultimate Warrior,
Oh, yeah.
or I would think of Sting. Even when he changed up the way he painted his face from that classic 1980s paint
Right.
up to the Crow Sting, up to when he was with the Wolfpack NWO. Like the personality changes. Yeah. So I can totally agree with that.
Or if I can switch topics here.
Yeah.
pardon
Go
me.
ahead.
Very good.
On my Eerie Hour show, my Eerie Hour with Erich show, my character, Erich, he puts on a mask at the end of the show as he's saying that. And I get what you're saying, with a mask, he looked pretty terrifying. However, it's all in your body movements
Right.
and
I
whatnot.
think psychologically, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it might be the fact that nobody can see the real you because there's a mask over that, so you
Yes.
can be that person.
Mm-hmm. I have essentially become Eerie Erich.
Yeah.
And even without the mask on, I'm still that character on camera. So
Well, yeah. So like with his Eerie Erich show, he allowed me. Thank you for that, though. It's so fun.
anything for you, bestie.
He allowed me to portray a character of Melanie, and it's weird because
Melanie.
Melanie. I'm
Melanie.
sorry. Coffee jitters. But Melanie, like, it's weird because, like, I'm Allie right now, but like getting that costume on and then having the airbrush paint put on me for that day, like. I'm good, but then once he says action, it's almost like, I don't know about you, but getting into character, it's almost like a switch.
I've noticed that.
So the minute he says, and go, boom, Melanie. And it's all in body language too, because I would duck my head down and try to look more scary, keep my hair in my face.
Yeah.
And it brings a different energy too. I don't know about you, but when I act and I know that it's my turn to perform, I get kind of excited or I get kind of happy. So like
I
you
get
can
that
see
way
it in my
too.
work.
I think that shows too. Like everybody in the audience can feel that. I know there's no audience on YouTube, but people like on stage, people can feel that. Like you bring so much energy to that stage that you should be doing this like professionally. You know what I mean?
That's a dream. That's probably like a distant dream as of right now, but oh my god, yeah, that would make my heart happy if I could do something professionally like Broadway or something like that.
That'd
oh
be
my God.
badass.
I'm the
That would
same.
be awesome.
You'd both be wonderful on there.
Yeah, I have dreams and aspirations for not just music, but also for acting professionally as well, and like theater, film, and maybe even radio plays as well, which I have done a few of those before.
Cool. Awesome.
But
See, is like radio stuff. That's always been like in the back of my head, and like now that I get older and stuff, and like podcasts and things like that, I've noticed that they're actually a lot of fun too. My dad had started going to college back in the day to become a DJ, and like he's got like cassette tapes where he would practice being a DJ, and I've noticed that I got a lot of knack from my dad, and I could possibly
Thanks,
do that
Dad.
too. So it's actually sat in the back of my head as well to do stuff like that. I think it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, this actually where this all started right here. This whole show.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Go
No,
ahead.
farther back than that, before he was
no.
born. No.
Yeah.
No, on the last episode, I think it was the last one. I made a comment like that, and he's like, "Dude, you weren't born yet. I was born way before you." And I was like, "Nah, me and God actually asked me for advice on how to make you." I was like, "That's right. You're welcome." But anyway, shit. Oh yeah, where this all started was when I was a little kid, I had like fake microphones and shit. I wanted to be a radio DJ, but that was more radio because there was no such thing as podcasting back then. Dating myself on that one, but
Dating yourself.
It's
Talk
cute.
about cassette tapes.
Hello, myself. This is myself.
Yeah, I remember cassette tapes too. I remember
I still have some.
I remember my dad talking. I remember my parents talking about 8-tracks. Does that count? I went
have
around
some
My
of
that.
those
dad,
too.
my dad has some 8-tracks. He used
My
to
dad
have
still
8-track
has 'em.
player.
Records.
My parents had some 8-tracks as well, so.
Good shit.
But what's the next one? Yeah. Make sure. Well, I got half of my question out, and we kind of just took off. But
No, it's all right. We're on the clock.
yeah, what triggered your interest in the horror realm?
Well, it's kind of a long story, so I'll try to condense it down as
We
much
got
as I
plenty of
can.
time. I don't give a fuck
Well,
how long this is.
Okay, so basically it started back in the day when I was just a little boy. My dad read to me a condensed version. It was a children's version of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving, and I instantly fell in love with the whole concept of a ghost chasing a frightened schoolmaster through a wooded area and whatnot. I just became fascinated by that, and eventually I began researching ghosts and paranormal. I would watch shows with my brother, like A Haunting or like Ghost Hunters or stuff like that. And I eventually got into horror movies thanks again to my mom. And she showed my brother and I The Exorcist when we were really young. So that movie really scared me when I was a kid, but it was kind of interesting because I was like, I want to watch more of these, And so eventually my passion for horror movies and for ghost stories and anything horror in general grew from an early age and just expanded as I got older.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with that too. Like this, like I was talking about this stuff. Anytime I'm watching YouTube or watching a podcast or something like that, a lot of the times, like, yeah, I'll be enjoying the show, but a lot of times I'll be, and this is from an early age, how are they doing that? Like, oh, look at that graphic that's showing up. How could I do that? Stuff like that. That's always been a thought in my mind. I'm never 100% watching to enjoy. I'm also studying. But I've actually been able to make something out of what I never thought would be possible. It's pretty cool.
You know what? Just not to like backtrack or nothing, but when we were talking about wrestling,
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but that's also something that got me into like the horror thing, like with the Undertaker.
Yeah.
So like as far as like scary things,
Yeah.
I can attribute that to the Undertaker. And then as far as like
Becoming your
acting
character.
and podcasting and all this kind of media thing, I can associate that with good old JR and Jerry the King Lawler, and those to me are like legendary voices. And I've always been fascinated with how they can entertain an audience just by sitting there at their commentary table and keeping you fired up.
My God.
So I can thank those two legends for like my love of media and theater in general.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
how they can just like just have the audience in the palm of their hand
Yeah,
just by
absolutely,
simply the way they
Well,
spoke.
As soon as you mentioned becoming your character earlier, I instantly thought of the Undertaker. Because that's the Undertaker. Like, even in real life, he was the Undertaker for the longest time.
He was one of those that he lived by the business, and once you got into kayfabe, that's where you stayed. So if you're out in public and the public sees you, you're your character. You have to stay that character, and he didn't really allow us to see that until it was closer time for him to retire.
It's more appropriate now, I think, with the times.
Absolutely.
It's really hard to hide from media nowadays too. So
I remember a quote from the late great actor Werner Klemperer. You know you've made it when people recognize you by your character name, and of course, you know, he was, of course, Colonel Clink on Hogan's Heroes, so people began hello Colonel, how's it going, and instead of hello Werner or Klemperer or whatnot, he said that's when you've made it as an actor.
I think so.
Oh yeah.
If they know your real name, then they probably just know you.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
Exactly.
Unless they're like a really big fan, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah, one of those super fans.
Yeah, the creepy ones. You know?
Yes. And
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I will mention this though. As long as we're speaking about horror things and whatnot, another thing I love is haunted attractions, like the type you walk through and get scared. I absolutely love those. In fact, Allie and I have been to a couple of
Found out
those.
what my fear is real quick.
What's that?
So Erich had the joy of finding out that I am afraid of chainsaws, and I didn't realize it.
Okay.
Those are
So,
fun
and I can
scares.
probably backtrack that and attribute it to my dad. When I was a kid, he used to set up our house like a haunted house, and one of his friends had a chainsaw, and he would chase kids with the chainsaw. It didn't have a chain on it or nothing, but he would chase them. Well, let's flash forward like 20 years. So Erich and I had the privilege of hanging out together and going to all these amusement parks together. Thank you for inviting me. I love it. And there was one we went to. It was Indy Scream Park. Ooh. Super fun. Different mazes you can go through. Awesome. And there was this one called the Backwoods. And there was Erich, my husband Jason, our friend Tyler, and we're all in this group together. Well, Backwoods, they needed a group of 7, so they paired up 2 girls with us. They give Tyler the glow.
They were fun.
Oh my God, yeah, they were. They give Tyler a glow stick. He's the leader. He was very nervous about that. It is very dark. One of the attractions we got to in the Backwoods was this. It looked like an old shed or an old cabin.
It was a shack.
Yeah. You walk in. There's a dilapidated, nasty-looking twin bed.
That's a good word. I like that.
And there is this very tall, muscular man on the other side, and he's in bibbed overalls. His stringy hair is in his face, and he's got a chainsaw. And he's pretty much giving you a warning, like, you need to get out of here, you don't belong in these woods, it's best you leave. The girls that were grouped with us start pushing us, like, hey, we're ready to get out of here, we need to go. So we're all giggling, trying to get out. Well, once we got out, he's following us out of the cabin.
Good luck.
Once we got outside, we're all giggling, having a good time. Well, one of the girls, I watched her bolt. She took off like a bat out of hell, right? And I'm like, why's she running for? I turn around, and there's the guy with the chainsaw, and he is just blood curdle screaming, ah! And he's revving, and he is full-blown running. Mind you, this dude is like, he's 6'2", 6'3". He was very tall, very muscular, and he is running with the chainsaw. And my fight or flight kicked in, and I ran. I'm like, oh, hell no! And I took off running. So as I'm running, I met up with the girl. We're running about the same speed. We don't even know each other. We're complete strangers, and we grab hands, and we're holding hands running. Erich is behind me. Tyler's behind me. They're all losing it, laughing. We fell at the end, and I was like, oh, my God. First of all, I'm so sorry for touching you. Second of all, are you okay? And she's like, I think so. Is he gone? I'm like, yeah, he's gone. So found out real quick I'm afraid of chainsaws. I'm like, nope, I don't play with that shit. I don't do it. Mm-mm.
If I could tell the other story.
Go for it.
We went to another one. It wasn't exactly a haunted house, though it did have one. It was called Paranormal Cirque. And it was basically a circus with a scary theme, which was awesome, by the way. And well, before you get to your seats, they make you navigate this little haunted house maze. And well, we come in and we round the corner, and all of a sudden I look down the corridor and I see something. I'll just leave it at that. And I turn to Allie. I was like, Allie, you're not gonna like this. And she's like, what? And all of a sudden, this huge guy. he's shirtless. He's ripped, and he has a chainsaw. He's screaming like, ah! And the chainsaw. just like running from him.
And he would actually, this guy would actually come up and touch you with the chainsaw on the back of your legs to get, and he would tell you, "You better fucking move, you better move."
Oh shit.
Oh
And
yeah.
like, we're trying to get out of there. He's laughing and I'm like panicking. I'm like, no.
And
No.
And meanwhile, my dad's behind us, and he's like lagging behind, and I'm waiting for him, but the chainsaw guy was like, "Mom!"
I don't do chainsaws. Nope.
I went to one and I met that guy. Out of all these people walking through his area, he picks me and puts me up against a wall and slams his machete right next to my head. But the wall was like bouncy, so that hit my head and actually hurt.
Ooh,
But
ouch.
I was like just looking at him, just like, you don't scare me, pretty much. Like, do it. Being all crazy.
Explains what's wrong with him. He's hit his head.
Maybe.
Well, like with Eric and I,
But it was fun.
for example, I think it was Indie Screen Park. They give you an option of a glow stick necklace. If you wear that, that means you give permission for them actors and actresses to touch you. If you don't wear it, that means you don't want anybody touching you.
And they get pretty handsy.
And they do get handsy. So all like the whole group was like, "No, thank you, we're good." Eric's all like, "I'll do it."
I'm crazy. I'll do
And he
it.
put it on, and they were grabbing him and pulling him in rooms and stuff,
Jeez.
and then saying they wouldn't give him back. Like, it was wild.
Oh, wow.
And he ended up loving it. He had a ball.
I really
That'd be
like
fun. I want to go.
Wear a shirt that says "Touch me."
Yeah, it's basically like, hey, I'm all yours, you know?
Touch me now.
Me, babe. Make it say that I'm not afraid.
So, saw some videos on Facebook of you playing your saxophone.
Yes.
And so what got you started with that? I know you already told us when, but I was going to ask you on the show, and then it kind of got out before we did this.
Well, I did mention my mother got me into acting. Well,
Yep.
my father got me into music.
Okay.
But he's a church organist, and he plays at 2 different churches. Excuse me. So basically, he's telling me all about music and composers and whatnot, and I decided, wow, that's pretty awesome. And so I began studying music and listening to the various composers through history and whatnot. And the thing that really stuck out to me was jazz. And I really didn't get into saxophone until there was a guy, and I think he's still playing today. He's a local Indianapolis-based jazz saxophonist called Sizzling Great Bacon, and he was playing with the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra, and we went to go see them one time at New Year's Eve, nonetheless. And it just, the way he was like playing his saxophone and really grooving to the music, I just leaned over to my mom at one point and I said, "Mom, I want to do that." And eventually I did. I took up saxophone and I listened to all different saxophone players: Charlie Parker, John Coltrane, Dave Koz, Art Pepper, who else? Eric Marienthal, all those really great. Mindy Abair, I should mention her. Really great saxophone players, and began developing, my own style off of that. And I just really love playing the saxophone. Aside from
Pretty damn good at it too, I must say.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I had written down, "Do you write your own music?" Then I realized that I wrote down before that
Well,
that you compose
that was
music.
composer.
So what's how many songs do you have?
I have, I want to say about 10, 12 songs
Wow.
that I've
Do you
written.
actually write the music, or do you?
Yes, I have
wow.
a program on my computer
Okay.
that I write music with.
Awesome.
And, it plays back sounds just to make sure,
Right.
I like what I hear.
Mhm.
And then the rest goes from there. I decide, okay, I want to record this, or I want to take this to a gig and see if people can play it. And that's
Wow.
that's basically what I do
awesome.
as a composer.
That's
As a
cool.
musician.
Yeah, so he's pretty much what I could have been if I would have. Well, he's still farther ahead than I would have ever been because he's just a talent. But I didn't stick to it. Like I consider myself I wouldn't say a musician, but I know a few things here and there. I kind of play around. I know several different instruments, but I'm not like amazing at any of them.
So you have a basic appreciation for
Yeah,
music.
absolutely. Oh yeah, I get
Yeah, same
goosebumps.
here.
I get goosebumps pretty easy. So
I got a silver tone bass I tinker on here and there, but not no rock star, I can tell you that. I don't play very well, but it's still, I love bass.
As long as you enjoy it,
Oh, yeah.
that's what matters.
exactly.
that's-
That's the biggest deal. If you
that's what
don't
I do.
enjoy
I
it, then
love it.
there's really no point in doing
Yeah,
it.
basically.
Yes, sir.
Mine started with choir. My love for music.
Yeah,
Like,
you are a
'cause my
good singer.
My mom was always like, "Oh, I love your voice. You should get into singing." Blah blah blah. So choirs where mine started, and then I've tried different instruments, and really my love is at piano. Right now, it's pinging around, playing by ear, but I do know how to read music. So I'm sure if I found sheet music to what I wanted to learn, that'd probably help me along.
Could you probably play some of my stuff? I only write in chords, so.
If I sat down and like looked at it, maybe.
See, that's
But
my
I need
biggest.
a lot more
That's my
practice.
biggest thing with playing piano is that shit intimidates me. If I see more than one note, or if I see a like anything that's not 4/4, 2/4, or 3/4, I'm like, I don't know about this.
I've only written in 4/4. I haven't done like
Yeah.
6/8 or 12.
6/8
Eh,
tough.
eh,
6/8 is.
Tough.
It is.
Mine's more of like, I don't know about you with piano, but I've noticed like if I'm pinging around, I can find the melody and I'm fine. But when you put in like your second hand, for some reason, they don't want to operate. It's like they want to play the same thing rather than, okay, here's your chords, your whatever, and here's your melody.
Yeah.
So I need.
So my suggestion from the few things that I know is, you know both parts, right?
Yeah, like I can play them separately.
You can play them
and
separately.
they're fine, but it's when you go to put them together, for some reason my hands are like, and they don't.
Well, it's hard to explain, but you almost want to. You want to use, like, let's say you just throw your right hand out, do that. Turn your mind off of this. Just play muscle memory and then focus on this one
This
while
is
you're
gonna
doing
go-
your muscle memory. It's still gonna do that, but it's definitely an
Well,
art form.
I can't say I can't do it because if I take it slow,
Patience is everything.
you can hear it. I can do it.
That's the thing.
But it's when I get it up to the tempo that it needs to be that
Do
I
it slowly.
start losing
Do it slowly. Start out as slow as you possibly can. Get all the way
So
through
it
it.
drives you nuts.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Go
Oh,
all the way
repetition,
through it and
repetition.
Yes,
then start
repetition.
over and go a little faster and build yourself up. I guarantee you, if you give yourself enough time and patience, you'll get it.
I gotta treat it like
That's-
theater.
If you can play them
repetition.
separate, you can play them together.
That's
as long as you're
what
patient.
my music professors in college told me. How to eat an elephant, one bite at a time.
Absolutely.
Just take it in chunks, slow it down if you need to,
Yep.
and eventually it becomes, like you said, you develop that muscle memory and it becomes second nature.
Well, it's just like even warming up an instrument. You can't just start off high. I mean, yeah,
No,
you
no,
can,
no.
but it's not going to sound as good until you warm that thing up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Start out low.
Start out
Even
with scales and eventually go to like intervals and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I
plus,
know.
you're going to ruin your chops if you try to go high right off.
If you play too much, and there's such a thing as warming up too much.
Mhm.
You can warm up just to get the basic feel of your instrument. Especially if you've been away from it for a long time. But if you warm up too much, especially with wind instruments like the saxophone, you eventually wear down the tissue in your lips, and eventually it becomes harder once it comes showtime to play. I mean, my high school band director was very strict on that. He said, save your chops, and he was right.
I'd say
It really saves you some.
I'd say 2 to 3, maybe 5, but no more than that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Mine was always like I did attempt band when I was a kid, probably about 5th to 7th grade, and then I gave up. Wish I wouldn't have done that, but that's how it went. But hey, that led to theater, so I'm not even mad. But mine was always about not only taking care of yourself, but learning how to take care of that instrument. Because I attempted to learn clarinet, so he was always honest about having the right stuff to clean your instruments after you played them, because all your spit just
Right.
collects in it.
Yep.
And then he was always about changing out the reeds, because that can mess with the sound, and they
Yes.
chip and break.
Mm-hmm.
So he was all about take care of your instrument, so that
They're not cheap.
it sounds right.
Yes.
Definitely want to break in that reed too. You don't want to throw. You don't want to
Yes.
pop in.
Oh, that fresh reed. It was
You don't
like,
want to
you're
pop
like,
in a.
You're one of those musicians when reeds start to taste really good.
Yeah. You don't want to just pop in a reed and
No.
go out and do your
Yeah.
thing like that. You got to warm
Yeah.
that thing
I
up.
remember reading several tutorials about how to break in reeds. One of them was from the U.S. Army concert band, their saxophone section, one of their saxophone players said the best way to break in a reed is to soak it in a glass of water and then rub it on a piece of paper so that you strip off some of the flashing or whatnot, and then start to play on it or something like that. I citation needed right there.
I just learned something new.
If it works, it works.
Yes, and I tried it out once. It was very tedious process, but it does work, for new reads.
Tips and tricks.
Tips and tricks.
That's right, son. I don't. You know me, I'm
Yes,
fucking weird.
son.
You know that. That's right, son. Oh, I'm
What's your
fucking
favorite
weird.
song to play? It could be your own, but
My favorite song to play is anything by Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. They're my absolute favorite band, and I mentioned this before. I had the privilege and pleasure of taking saxophone lessons from their saxophone player, Carl Hunter. And one of my absolute favorite songs by them is called Go Daddy-O, because it starts off, you hear the cymbal like, and then Carl Hunter comes in with Go Daddy-O. I just
shit.
love that.
yeah, I love music. Especially I like build-ups too, like what you're talking about. Like there's just one at a time, instrument at a time. Love that shit.
Herbie Hancock does a lot of that. I love his stuff.
I love that shit. But what was that song you just played for us? The last one that you played.
The one I played in your living room.
Yeah.
That was called Jumping Jack.
Yeah, that was a
And,
good one.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, it was
Like he started playing. I
freaking
wasn't
awesome.
even paying. Like I was paying attention. I wasn't like looking at him. I thought the music was playing. I looked and he's sitting there playing. I was like, oh shit,
He's
I,
getting it.
Just like it.
I've memorized some of the licks of those
Yeah.
songs. And
Yeah, that was good shit.
yeah.
Pretty much played that whole song.
Those you have good memory.
Yes, I mean, like I said, a little bit of muscle memory if you work at it. So,
But last thing I got is, can you play us a song? We already discussed it, but
sure, I can
just
do
pick
that.
one.
I just need to get my saxophone right here.
Making sure people didn't think I was just catching him off guard. But that definitely, we planned that out. I wasn't gonna. Hey, can you play your saxophone? Just blind, like here you go.
I thought about it for a second. I was like, could I?
I think that's about right.
Put it right here.
There we
All
go.
right. Okay, so let's see here. Anybody have any requests?
Undertaker theme song now.
I wish I knew that one.
Love that shit. Play the gong part on your saxophone.
The gong part.
I know a song I can play. It's you ever heard "Fly Me to the Moon"? Frank
Fly
Sinatra?
me
Yeah.
to the moon.
Yeah, I
Like
Yeah, I
Blue
love that
Eyes.
shit.
I really love playing that song, especially on tenor.
Do it. I love that
Blue
shit.
Eyes is awesome.
1, 2, 3, 4. There it is.
Good shit. Hell yeah. Thanks so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. My pleasure.
And you're welcome back anytime. my
Anytime.
man.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yeah, just go ahead and what the fuck, the outro, I guess you want to call it. Like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening, thank you.
Jesus.
Got our merch. Go buy that shit. Patreon. Go be a member. You know what? Support the. I don't know. Why I said you know what. Support the show. You know what it is. Follow us on social media. We got a link tree in the description on YouTube, so you'll have to go to YouTube to see that, or go to Instagram, whichever one, doesn't matter. And our social media is listed also on Spotify and iTunes for those that are listening. So that's all I got. You guys got anything else for me?
Watch my Eerie Hour with Erich show on
Yes.
YouTube. I'm also on
Go see that shit.
on Facebook as well as Instagram, and I'm also on TikTok. So follow us on all 3 platforms and watch the show. And season 4 is going to come out sometime in, I want to say in either August or September, sometime during the summer. So look out for that.
Absolutely, and we are going to link all that stuff with your permission.
You have
In
my
our description.
permission
Awesome.
for that.
So we'll go ahead and we're going to link all his. If you want to send me like what you want us to put on it.
Yes, I will
Messenger.
definitely send you
Right
all
on.
the links that you want.
Right on. Sounds good. So yeah, see you guys next week. Probably gonna be a lighter one next time because it's just gonna be us 2, unless we somehow find another guest. This one was not as. This was kind of last minute because he texted me right after we got done with our episode last time, and we got
I'm
her
glad
going.
you
So,
did.
yeah, absolutely.
And I'm so glad Allie told me
Yep.
about it.
So yeah, we'll see you guys next week, son.
See ya.
Thank you for listening and watching, as always.
So, thank you.
Auf Wiedersehen.